The eligibility process.
The special education process determines whether or not your child is eligible for special education services.
Step 1. Child is identified as possibly needing special education and related services. How are children who may have disabilities identified?
When a child may have special needs, he or she may be referred for an assessment to determine whether or not he or she is eligible for special education services. Parents, teachers, the principal, a doctor, a community agency, the school student study team, any concerned individual, or the child may make referral. Note: a referral to special education does not mean that a child will automatically receive special education services. A referral does mean that a child shall be considered for assessment.
Step 2. Child is evaluated.
The evaluation must assess the child in all areas related to the child's suspected disability. The evaluation results will be used to decide the child's eligibility for special education and related services and to make decisions about appropriate educational program for the child. Psychological, educational, speech and language, vocational, and other evaluations are required. A full psychological evaluation is required, including all identifying data, reason for referral, background and developmental history, prior testing results, observation, tests administered, test result, including a breakdown of scores, conclusions, and recommendations. An educational evaluation is required, including academic history. This report should identify achievement, strengths, and weaknesses. In speech and language evaluation, a description of the severity of the language deficit should always be included, and if possible, the prognosis.
From time to time, parents or the school will have a variety of reports from outside agencies, such as medical, neurological, psychiatric, occupational, and physical therapy screening, psychological, audiological, visual training, and so forth. These reports should be included only when they are relevant to the possible disability. If outside reports are to be used in place of the district's own evaluations, they should be fairly recent, within past 6 months to 1 year.
Step 3. Eligibility is decided. A group of qualified professionals and the parents look at the child evaluation results. Together, they decide if the child is a child with disability, as defined by DEA. Parents may ask for a hearing to challenge the eligibility decision if they disagree with it.
Who tests my child and what do they assess?
If the assessment is appropriate, the child will be tested in all areas of suspected disability by a multidisciplinary team. The members of the Eligibility Committee.
First, the parents of the child with a disability. Second, not less than one regular education teacher of the child. Third, not less than one special education teacher or provider of the child. Fourth, a representative of the school district who is qualified to provide or supervise the provision of special education and is knowledgeable about the general curriculum and availability of resources in the district. Fifth, an individual who can interpret the instructional implications of evaluation results. Sixth, the child, if appropriate.
7. A school position is requested in writing by the student's parent or the district at least 72 hours prior to the meeting. 8. An additional parent member who is a parent of a student with a disability residing in the district or a neighboring district
However, the participation of this member is not required if the student's parents request that this additional parent member not participate in the meeting. Ninth, at the discretion of the parent or the district, other individuals who have knowledge and special expertise regarding the student, including related services personnel, as appropriate.
Step 4. Child is found eligible for services. If the child is found to be a child with a disability as defined by IDEA, he or she is eligible for special education and related services. And the IEP team will write an IEP for the child. The eligibility committee, along with the parents, should finalize the various components of the child's IEP. This final draft of document will then be mailed home along with other necessary forms for their approval.
IEP meeting is scheduled.
The school system schedules and conducts the IEP meeting.
The school staff must contact the participants or MDT, including the parents.
Notify the parents and the participants early enough to make sure they have an opportunity to attend.
Schedule the meeting at a time and place agreeable to parents and the school.
Tell the parents the purpose, time, and location of the meeting.
Tell the parents who will be attending and
Tell the parents they may invite people to the meeting who have knowledge or special expertise about the child.
Step 6. IEP meeting is held and the IEP is written. The IEP team gathers to talk about the child's needs and write the student's IEP. Parents and the student, when appropriate, are part of the team.
Before the school system may provide special education and related services to the child for the first time, the parents must give consent. The child begins to receive services as soon as possible after meeting. If the parents do not agree with the IEP and placement, they may discuss their concerns with the team and try to work out with an agreement. If they still disagree, parents can ask for mediation, or the school may offer mediation. Parents may file a complaint with the state education agency and may request a due process hearing, at which time mediation must be available.
What components must be included in the IEP?
First, a statement of the child's present level of academic achievements and functional performance. Second, a statement of measurable annual goals, including academic and functional goals. Third, a description of how the child's progress toward meeting the annual goals will be measured and when periodic reports on the progress the child is making toward meeting the annual goals will be provided. Fourth, a statement of the special education and related services and supplementary aids and services based on peer-reviewed research to the extent practicable to be provided to the child or on behalf of the child, and a statement of the program modifications or supports for school personnel that will be provided for the child. Fifth, an explanation of the extent, if any, to which the child will not participate with non-disabled children in the regular class. Sixth, a statement of any individual appropriate accommodations that are necessary to measure the academic achievement and functional performance of the child on state and district-wide assessments. Seventh, the projected date for the beginning of the services and the anticipated frequency, location, and duration of those services and modifications. And lastly, beginning not later than the first IEP to be in effect when the child is 16 and updated annually thereafter.
Step 7. Services are provided.
The school makes sure that the child's IEP is being carried out as it was written. Parents are given a copy of the IEP. Each of the child's teachers and services providers has access to the IEP and knows his or her specific responsibilities for carrying out the IEP. This includes the accommodations, modifications, and supports that must be provided to the child in keeping with the IEP. The IEP team must indicate the special education programs and related services, supplementary aids and services, assistive technology devices, and program supports or modifications that are to be provided to the student or on behalf of the student.
Step 8. Progress is measured and reported to parents.
The child's progress toward the annual goal is measured as stated in the IEP. His or her parents are regularly informed of their child's progress and whether that progress is enough for the child to achieve the goals by the end of the year.
Step 9. IEP is reviewed.
The child's IEP is reviewed by the IEP team at least once a year or more often if the parents or the school ask for a review. If necessary, the IEP is revised. Parents as team members must be invited to attend these meetings. Parents can make suggestions for changes, can agree or disagree with the IEP goals, and agree or disagree with the placement.
Step 10. Child is re-evaluated.
At least every 3 years, the child must be re-evaluated. This evaluation is often called the triennial review. Its purpose is to find out if the child continues to be a child with disability, as defined by IDEA, and what the child's educational needs are. However, the child must be evaluated more often if conditions warrant or if the child's parents or teacher ask for evaluation.